Hello there, you absolute legends. Emma McElhinney here with Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. I am here to ruin your misconceptions about perimenopause, fat loss, and kick midlife in the face. So if you think your 40s are a drag, think again. Because every week I am going to be stripping down the myths about perimenopause. I'm serving you raw, unfiltered truths about your health and smashing misconceptions about fat loss. And a whole lot more. So if you thought you knew midlife, you don't know the half of it. Aging is inevitable, but getting old is a choice. So buckle up, grab a glass of something yummy, and let's get to it. Hello, welcome to the next episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of me. The musings of me. It has been a while. I have not done a podcast for 2 months over the summer holidays, and there's been a whole raft of reasons why: holidays, mood, just stuff going on. But I am back with a vengeance. Not really a vengeance. It makes me sound like an action movie. Not here with an action movie. But today's episode is all about body confidence, which is a little bit weird because the last podcast that I did as a guest with the lovely Tracy Lee from TL Fitness was all about body confidence. But this is not just a how to be body confidence. This is more of a little bit of a personal story that I wanted to share about, how some simple investments in yourself can actually make a huge, huge difference in how you're feeling about yourself. So I have, in one way or another, over the last maybe 10 years, I have invested a lot in me. I have a gym membership. I pay somebody to do my workout programming for me because I am naturally just a cherry picker. So if I did my own workouts, I would only do things that I really, really love doing. So basically I'd just be doing like 10 lots of deadlifts every single day, which isn't really going to help me get fitter or stronger. Well, it would, but anyway, but I don't see anything particularly special about those investments because that's just me. It's just what I need to do. And that's normal part of life for me. And in terms of business coaching and business mentoring, I have invested a lot of time and energy and money in business coaching over the years. And I really like having a business coach or a mentor, to help me make decisions, B, to help me feel confident that I'm on the right track, and C, just have somebody in my corner who gets the ups and the downs, because there are downs. There's huge ups, but there are downs as well. And having somebody there to have a moan to help empathize is really good. But again, I don't really see that as being completely abnormal. That's just what I do. That's what I like. That's how I work best. But there's something that I did this summer that I spent money on, which was completely outside my comfort zone, and it completely has changed the game for me. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that to you as well. So one of the things I always talk about is body confidence and how most of my clients want to achieve body confidence from losing weight. And one of the hard things to articulate is that body confidence actually doesn't come from the number on the scale at all. The body confidence comes from the internal. It comes from how you think. It comes from what you think. It comes from how you carry yourself, not the number of the scale. Now, the number on the scale or the number on the clothes label can help along the way, because it's proving, most people join me because they don't like how they look, they don't like how they feel, they want to lose body fat, they want to have more energy, and losing weight is part and parcel of that for a lot of women, but it doesn't need to be the case. But this year, it's been a long time since I've felt particularly uncomfortable in my own skin. I have felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I have talked about previous years when I was younger, and in the night, if you think back to the 90s, heroin chic was in, everybody was skinny, everybody had thigh gaps. Kate Moss was prancing about saying that nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, which is a crock of shit because we all know bacon sandwiches do taste better than skinny feels. But at that time, I was a sprinter. I had muscles, I had big thighs, I had big calves, and I had a big butt. Those things have not gone away, even though I'm no longer a sprinter. But back then, I didn't ever feel that I have never really hated my body, never particularly loved it. It was very functional. It did what I wanted it to do. But this past couple of years in perimenopause has probably been the most invisible maybe I've felt with my body. Like there's nothing special. I'm not ripped. And this is one of the things I talk about quite a lot, is that I used to have a lot of mindset blockers around how was I ever going to succeed in this health coaching space without being ripped, because all the other coaches out there are ripped. And then actually having spoken to a gazillion clients and potential clients over the years, no one gives two shits whether I'm ripped or not. It's not about that for my clients. My clients want themselves to feel good and look good and be healthier and feel like they're operating like the best version of themselves. That doesn't require their coach to be looking like a fitness model on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That's never going to happen. Mainly because I've got a really long torso, and swimsuits don't work for me. They give you a little bit of a weird camel toe, shall we say. Anyway, that's not about me in a swimsuit. But this year, a lot of you might know that I've gone through a marriage breakup, and due to stress, due to changes in lifestyle, I've lost weight. I've lost just over a stone this year. But that in itself has not really changed anything for me in terms of the clothes that I wear. Well, it has, but that's a different story that I'm going to come to. But it's not done a single bit for my body confidence. The number in the scale doesn't do anything for my body confidence. And the reason why that is because I've got no emotional connection to the number in the scales. And I'll tell you how to do this for yourself. Most people have a connection to the number in the scales because of a past memory. So a lot of people tell me that they want to get to 10 stone 4 because the last time they were 10 stone 4, they felt really good. But then they go on to say that they were 25 at that time, or it was before they had kids. But that's 10 stone 4 has still got that emotional connection because they think back to a time where life was free and easy and they had no concerns about gaining weight or anything like that. So that actually, you're different people now. Like you've aged 20 years, you've had 3 kids, your body composition has changed, your muscle mass has changed, your body fat's changed. Like there's loads of different things changing. So being 10 stone 4 at 44 is going to be completely different to being 10 stone 4 at 24. Now for me, I remember being in 5th or 6th year, so what's that, 16 or 17 years old, and I was 9 stone 2, right? Now, actually, compared to where I am now, I actually don't think I'm actually probably a dress size bigger at a push, right, than what I was then, at a push. But I don't even know what I weigh in stones and pounds anymore. But anyway, how to remove that emotional connection is one big way to do it is change the metric. Just change it. So if you constantly weigh yourself in stones and pounds, change your scales to kilos or just pounds. It means nothing to you. Like if I said, oh, you're 155 pounds, no emotional connection. If I say you're 67 kilos, no emotional connection at all. None. So that's the first thing I want you to do. If you are somebody that gets disheartened by the number on the scale, or you start having a panic attack when you get into the 10 stone mark or the 11 stone mark or the 12 stone mark, change it. Honestly, it will do your mental health the world of good. But that's not why I'm here today. The whole thing that works for me in terms of improving self-confidence, not just body confidence, internal esteem, self-esteem, which is where body confidence is connected to, one is journaling. Now, I don't spend a lot of time journaling about my body because I actually quite like my body. It's very functional. I can squat, I can deadlift, I can walk. I could run some short distance if I chose to. I just choose not to. And yeah, there's parts of it that annoy me, like my massive calves really annoy me. And I'm just really glad that knee-high boots are no longer in fashion, but I suspect they're coming back in because everything else from that era is coming back in. I remember when knee-high boots were on fashion, And I really wanted a pair, but I could never get a pair to zip up over my mammoth calves. And I went to Evans. Now, I don't know if anybody else remembers Evans. Evans was the plus size ladies store. So I went to the plus size ladies store to get plus size leg boots in an extra wide calf fitting. So they were already wide because they're the plus size ones, then extra wide calf fitting boots. And actually, see, looking back, they didn't even have a massive big heel. They had a pointy toe, not a massive heel. So actually, I really must have looked like one of these cartoon characters that have tiny little feet and just stumpy legs. Anyway, that's the story of knee-high boots. So I'm not going to entertain them when they come back into fashion. But anyway, journaling. So journaling can really help with body confidence, and actually looking at your body naked or in your bra and pants or when you just come out of a shower. And a lot of people avoid this. So I want you to, if you do this, I want you to stop avoiding it, because you're just avoiding it, right? You're never going to get better or change it unless you actually face up to the fact that you have that body. So looking at your body in the mirror and looking at what do you love? Like, look at it. Do you love your eyes? Do you love your boobs? Do you love your belly? Do you love your bum? Do you love your ankles? Do you love your nail beds? Do you love your wrists? Like, find something that you love. And if you can't find something that you love, what do you tolerate? What's like, oh, that's all right. That's all right. I've got a pert butt, or I've got a peachy butt, or I've got quite a narrow waist, or what can you tolerate? Because what you can tolerate, you can learn to like, and then you can learn to love. So identifying the bits that you do like, I'm going, okay, how do I accentuate them bits? We're going to come to that in a little minute. So that actually accepting what you've got and recognizing what your body does for you. Like, so I mentioned it before, squat, walking, deadlifting, exercise and fitness, carried babies. I've not carried babies, I've carried one child, but if you've got multiple children, that would apply to you. It allows me to lift heavy weights off my head. Yada, yada, yada. So what can your body do for you, and what actually accepting what you've got. Other things that have really helped me was raising my underwear game. And this is a direct steal from Denise Duffield Thompson, I think her name is. And she is a money mindset expert, business expert. But she talks about in one of her books about, if you want to be better or feel better or be richer or be healthier or be anything different from what you are now, you've got to raise your standards, you've got to raise your game. So one of the examples she gave was about, upgrading her pants or underwear. So that's kind of connected with me a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, where are my pants from? Most of them are from like supermarkets, and they're just plain black. Thongs or kind of boy shorts, very functional, very plain. Some of them are drips in them. Some of them are like all like stitchings come away, and I'm like, how I'm not going to feel my best if I'm wearing skanky pants. So what she suggested is just go one level up. Just go one level up. You're not going to start wearing like the most expensive pants in the world if you're used to wearing Tesco pants. So I upgraded my pants, my underwear, and I went and bought loads of underwear from Marks and Spencer's. I've got new bras. I've got new bras that are not just in black and white. I actually have color bras. So raising my underwear game is just something that when you are getting dressed, you're like, yes, that's you appreciating your body, and it makes it look better. Like if you're wearing pants that are like held together by a single stitch, or they're all discolored or whatever, you're not going to feel nice in them, are you? So anyway, spending time with people that made me feel good is a huge one. So there's a saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're spending time with people that make you feel shit or look down their nose at you, or they're just involved in habits and lifestyle that doesn't align with what your goals are, you're going to become the average of that. So I now purposely only spend time with people that make me feel better about myself or make me feel good or I'm worthy or whatever. And another thing that makes me feel good, and you might see, if you follow me on Instagram, you might see this, is when I'm having a low day, or when my hair is manky, or when I'm not looking my best, whack on a bit of lipstick. Honestly, it's like the confidence giver. And when I used to work in corporate, if I ever had to do presentations or I had important meetings that I was like, oh my God, I'm terrified, I would always wear a high heel and I would always wear lipstick, because it's a facade. It's the whole fake it till you are it. mentality that if you can put on, it's like being an actress, you're in costume. And that for me was my costume. So even to this day, if you see me wearing lipstick and heels and I'm not just out on a night out, which chances are I'm never going to be wearing lipstick and high heels on that either. But if you ever see me wearing lipstick and high heels, I'm either quite nervous or I know that I need to make a good impression. And this is me raising my standards slightly. But the one thing that did really a lot for my confidence this year is something that I invested money in, which took me out of my comfort zone. It wasn't an awful lot of money. It was 70, 80 quid. But it did take me out of my comfort zone because I had always laughed at people that did this. And now it's freaking well changed my life. So I'm going to share it with you too. So a friend of mine, Anna, had got her colours done. Now, I had laughed when I'd heard people getting their colours done because it just reminds me of Bridget Jones's mum. Remember, she gets her colours done. And it's all, and yeah, anyway, so got her colours done. And I was just like, oh my God, what? The people still do that? And then she put me in touch with this community and this website. And I kind of hummed and hawed and I looked around and I went for it too. I did it. I spent, I think it was £80, as I say, and I got my colours done and I got my shape done. So a colours analysis and a shape analysis. Oh my God, how has that changed my life? Well, honestly, right, so most people don't see me full frontal, full length pictures of me ever because there's no one to take pictures of me other than Archie, and he always chops my head off. So every now and then you might see a picture of me like in the wild or doing a picture of myself in the mirror, right? But very much, if I'm working from home, all I really do most days is work at my desk, take the dog a walk, go to the gym, sometimes hit the supermarket. So there's not really a great call for me to ever get dressed up. But so most days I'm in gym wear. I don't wear Lululemons because I don't actually see the value in spending a gazillion pounds. I actually rate Marks and Spencer's good move leggings much better. Anyway, that's a whole plug for Marks and Spencer's there. So nothing really fancy. So I'm used to wearing a lot of black. I've always worn a lot of black. When I was a younger teenager, I used to wear talcum powder in my face and have hundreds of black eyeliner, black lipstick, full black, bit gothy. And kind of that carried over a little bit. So turns out, so when I got my colours done, the first thing that jumped out at me on this was a massive PDF, by the way, was avoid black, it drains you. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, what am I going to wear? What am I going to do? So that immediately was a comfort zone thing of, what to do? So I am what is known as a warm spring. So for me, good colours are oranges, yellows, reds, kind of some pinks, greens, emeralds, turquoise, khaki, and camel. So I'd have to avoid things like black and white, right? And the other thing as part of this, what I got was a shape analysis, which it came back to say I was an hourglass. So my hips and my shoulders are wide, or they're in comparable width, and my waist narrow, which is no great surprise. I kind of knew that, but I always had this expectation that an hourglass shape was somebody with massive boobs, and I don't. The other thing that I got done was I got a bra measurement fitting, which I have never done before in my life. And I did get one for my sister once when I was a teenager, and she worked, well, no, it was maybe early 20s. She worked in Knickerbox. And she basically laughed at me and said, I think you might be a double A, so we're not even going to do this. But anyway, got my bra fitting. 36B. I've been wearing a 34A all these years, but my 36B. Which completely changed the game in terms of, oh my God, oh my God. Anyway, so what has that done for me? Right. So I wouldn't say I've had a complete wardrobe overhaul. I have invested in some really nice bits from Vinted. I have bought new underwear, not from Vinted, guys. I've changed my makeup. I've changed my hair. You can't really tell in this video because I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, but I've kind of gone back to gingery rather than blonde, and it's all washed out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, don't be looking at my hair going, you're a liar. It will be gingery tomorrow when I get my hair done. But it's completely changed how I dress myself, which sounds like a very 6-year-old thing to say. But the first weekend that I went out with this whole new look, I pulled. I never pull, right? Ever. So, and it's that No, when I look in the, when I get dressed now and I wear clothes that are not black and wear clothes that flatter my shape, I'm an hourglass, so I have to wear more high-waisted things and crop things and show off that this narrow waist, which I kind of always knew but never really did. Yeah, I walk taller, I look better, I have a more inner glow, and obviously a more outer glow because the colours that I'm wearing are now flattening my skin tone and my hair rather than just draining the life out of me. I'm not saying that I've stopped wearing black completely because I do still covet some black. Anyway, but all of those things combined have done so much more for me and the future me than anybody I think would ever know. So if you are just wanting to lose weight because you think it's going to give you your body confidence back, it's not. There's other things that you can do. Not that are easier, but you know, it's easier to spend £70 than trying to lose 2 stone. It certainly is. But don't lose weight just simply for body confidence. Think about what other benefits that are because of it. Now, for most people, it's going to be health related, money related. So health related, you might want to minimize the risk of future disease, or you might want to reverse a chronic condition that you've got just now, like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. Low mood, actually losing weight can actually alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. True story. So health. So health is one big reason. Wealth is another one. The amount of women that I know that have put off, like entrepreneurs in particular, that don't do as many lives as they should. They don't put themselves out there on social media. They don't ever share pictures of themselves because they don't like how they look, right? So actual entrepreneurs are leaving thousands of pounds a month on the table because they're not shouting about themselves and their businesses as much as they should be. Women that are in professions are not going for promotion. They're not asking their managers for more money because they don't have the confidence. And a lot of that is coming from how they feel about themselves, not just about what they're looking like, which can play a big part. So health, wealth, relationships, right? We know in perimenopause that libido can go through the floor. We know that. We know that relationships can become stale in our 40s and 50s. You know, it's just timelines. It's just raising kids. It's just being with the same person. But if you feel shit about yourself, you're not exactly going to be jumping out the shower covered in baby oil going, oh, take me now. Like improving relationships is a huge, huge part of being in your 40s and 50s. So if part of your goals is improving relationships, then losing weight might help with that. You might don't, like the amount of women I know that don't let their husbands or partners see them naked because they don't like how they feel is ridiculous. So get the baps out, go on. It helps with libido. There's a lady, Dr. Claire McCauley, who is, we did a podcast together, and she is a somatic sex coach, intimacy coach, relationship coach. And one of the things that she says about sexual appetite in your 40s and 50s is you're not going to have that whole rush that you used to have when you were in your 20s. You're not going to have that whole, oh, I need you now, take me type feelings. You know, it's familiarity. You don't have it. But if you're sharing a bed, you're in the bed anyway. Why not just give it a try and see what happens? So there you go. Some free sex coaching. Sorry, Claire, I'm just stealing your thunder there. So health, wealth, relationships, and status. This is a big one that nobody really talks about. So in the women traditionally, this is a sweeping generalization, I do apologize. Women traditionally claim they don't seek status. They don't want to be a show off. They don't want to necessarily be that person. But I think we should open up more about this because actually a lot of women harbor deep thoughts about wanting to be the best, wanting to be the one within their friendship group that has lost all the weight, wanting to be the one of the school mums group that all the guys are looking at, all the one within the workplace that want everybody to go to. They like the status. They like feeling important. They like being proud of themselves or having people look up to them. And it's okay to talk about that shit. It's the same as vanity. Like, why are we not actually accepting that vanity sometimes is really good? But anyway, and so status is another reason why other people want to change. And I've got a client just now that was very open, and that kind of the first conversation I had with her is what's kind of got me thinking about this more. And she was like, she just basically said, she was like, I want to be the one that people look to and go, holy fuck, she looks amazing. She's like, I'm not embarrassed about it. I am fed up of feeling the middle of the road, invisible. She's like, it's not me. I don't want to be it. I want to be the one that people are looking to make change. And I'm like, okay, fair dues. I think that was incredibly important that people are talking about this out loud. So anyway, so status is another reason for changing. So I cannot remember for the life of me what my point was of that, but we'll kind of look back around and kind of finish this off. So body confidence is not driven by the number of the scales. Body confidence is driven how you feel about you. And if you feel shit about you in general, you're tired, you're feeling frumpy, you're feeling invisible, your mood's low, all of these things are parts of perimenopause. They don't have to be parts, but they typically are. They are reversible. But if all of those things are feeding into how you feel about yourself, then of course you're not going to feel proud of your body. Of course you're not going to want to show it off. Of course you're not going to be flattering yourself. So all of these things combined just help get along that journey. It's not a magic wand. It's not a case of, boom, you're going to lose a stone and wake up tomorrow and go, oh, I'm body confident. No, you've got to do the other stuff as well. You've got to do the inner work. You've got to do the stuff that flatters you. You've got to raise your standards. You've got to raise your game. So yeah, that's today's session over, done. I am trying to get the lady who owns the color analysis, shape analysis business on a podcast with me, because what she's doing for women is incredible. I think she's amazing. She's so normal, real life. I am totally tuned into her. So I'm going to try and get her on a podcast, and so she can talk about her backstory, how she does what she does. And what I'll do is I will post the web link for her business in the notes as well, so you can go and have a look too. But in summary, if you want to feel better about yourself, you've got to get your shit together and actually do stuff that's going to make you feel better about yourself. Sitting wallowing in self-pity, not going to help at all. Going to make you feel worse. So actually doing things that raise your standards, going to make you feel good, going to make you look good. That's what you need to do. If losing weight is going to be part of that for you, then absolutely come and join us. I will also put a link to my everything page where you can look at our coaching programs and you can look at our freebies. But you've got to do the stuff. And it's not as hard as you think. Alrighty. Right. I'm away. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll speak to you soon and see you in the next one. And just like that, we have spiced up another episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. Massive shout out and a huge thank you for hanging out with me today. I really hope you've been entertained. And remember, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep those heels high and standards higher. Remember, it's all about glowing, growing and downright owning it. So catch you on the flip side, and don't forget to click the link in the show notes to get your freebie.